Internet. We'll see you at 6.
On World News Tonight this Thursday, the dark side of sport. Big-time college athletes accused of throwing away games to make money. It is December, isn't it? Record highs across this country, but dangerous cold overseas. And bring on the noise, it's louder than ever. We'll take a closer look at serious risks from noise to your mind and body.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Charles Gibson.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a story that makes you wonder about the integrity of sports, in particular, college sports. In Chicago today, a federal grand jury has indicted 4 former Northwestern University football players and charged them with lying about their role in an alleged gambling scheme that involved players trying to lose games and lose them badly in order to make money. ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, reports from Chicago.
Federal authorities say this fumble by a top player on the 1994 Northwestern football team was no mistake. What it was, according to today's federal grand jury indictment, was a fix, part of an effort by at least 4 members of the Northwestern team to lose the game by more than what the bookies expected, what's known as point shaving. According to the indictment, the 4 Northwestern players lied about their roles before the grand jury. 1 about his fumble, and the 3 others about betting against their own team with an on-campus bookie who authorities have told ABC News was tied to organized crime figures in New York.
We recognize that there are student bookies on every campus in America, and we need to prove to society that this is not a victimless crime.
This is the second time this year that athletes from Northwestern, located just outside Chicago, have been implicated in fixed games. Just last week, 3 more former college athletes, including Kevin Pendergast and former Northwestern basketball star Dion Lee, were sentenced to short prison terms for trying to fix several Big Ten games during the 1994-95 season.
I actually disgraced, the game, my school, my teammates, myself.
As part of their plea agreement, Lee and Pendergast have been speaking at colleges around the country about what can happen when student athletes get in deep debt with bookies.
I've gone from one $50 bet to calling the bookie 2 or 3 times a day on a Saturday, 2 or 3 times a day on a Sunday, and betting hundreds of dollars each weekend day during the football season.
In Dion Lee's case, he says he figured the team would lose anyway, so why not lose by more and take care of his big gambling debts?
I took money to affect the outcome of one of our games. We were losing. We were always losing.
Authorities say Northwestern is far from the only school with a serious on-campus gambling problem. But there's no doubt these are not the kind of highlights people in college sports are proud of. Brian Ross, ABC News, Chicago.
In Washington today, an about-face from the Republicans. Feeling the pressure from the rank and file, the party leadership today cleared the decks for the House Judiciary Committee to vote on articles of impeachment next week. And in so doing, they gave up the issue of the president's fundraising. Here's ABC's Linda Douglas.
The committee will come to order.
Just 2 days ago, House Judiciary Committee Republicans created an uproar by suddenly moving to expand the impeachment investigation to include the campaign finance scandal.
Is necessary.
But today, Chairman Henry Hyde told GOP committee members, never mind. Sources say that after looking at secret Justice Department documents on White House fundraising, Hyde's investigators concluded they did not yield information worth considering for articles of impeachment. So it is back to the Lewinsky scandal and the rush to a committee vote on impeachment. House Speaker-to-be Bob Livingston politely urged the committee to hurry. He is determined to avoid the spectacle of the full House voting to impeach the president during Christmas week.
My preference, as I said, would be to get it over with this year. But if the Judiciary Committee doesn't complete its work next week, it would be pretty certain that it would have to be carried over.
Carrying impeachment over into next year is the last thing Republicans want. But some worry the party will pay a political price whenever members vote. Today, for the first time, one Republican member said he and 20 other members of his party would rather censure the president and fine him. But GOP leadership sources say support for impeachment seems to be building. So why should they consider anything else? Linda Douglas, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Overseas, in the Philippines, there has been a terrible tragedy. 28 people, mostly children, were killed when a fire tore through an orphanage just before dawn. Here's our Chief Asia correspondent, Mark Litke.
By the time the first firefighters arrived, it was already too late. Several children were heard screaming for help behind metal security bars. The voices were soon silenced. With first light, the full extent of the tragedy was revealed. In one room, 13 small bodies. In another area, the body of an adult holding 2 infants. Relatives and neighbors alike were overcome by it all. Investigators suspect faulty electrical wiring in the old building. The children who survived have no idea how it started. They were just fortunate to have run in the right direction. This was to have been a day of celebration at the church-run orphanage. Today would have been the annual Christmas party. Mark Litke, ABC News, Tokyo.
In just a moment, the other news of the day, including what everybody's talking about, the weather. Uncommonly warm here, deadly cold in Russia.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by T. Rowe Price.
Yeah, it was amazing. Whole different world. You were a volunteer? Yeah. I saw a world that wasn't so fortunate. They needed help. In business, I see a world full of opportunity. To help me take advantage of those opportunities, I invest in international funds with T. Rowe Price. I chose them because they work with analysts all over the world. See, I know what a difference being there can actually make.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 50 years.
Discover the fiber therapy that tastes so good, people prefer it over Metamucil 2-to-1. Discover Citracel, the only fiber powder that won't produce excess gas. Citracel, no excess gas and better taste, too.
Inspired performance and handling. Luxury with a whole lot of fun. It's what sets Catera apart from every other car in its class. Now experience the difference during the Cadillac Performance Drive with up to $4,500 in factory-to-dealer cash. Catera with up to $4,500 in dealer cash, ready to move during the Cadillac Performance Drive. See your authorized Cadillac Catera dealer today.
NASA will try again tomorrow morning to launch the shuttle Endeavour. Engineers spent the day trying to figure out what triggered an alarm that postponed the launch earlier today. Endeavour is carrying the first American section of the International Space Station. That warm weather trend that started around Thanksgiving has kept on giving. Today there were record highs across most of the country, from Topeka, Kansas, all the way east to Newark, New Jersey. Here's ABC's Jim Williams.
This is not the Caribbean. This is Chicago in early December. Like much of the country, the city has rarely had so many consecutive warm days this late in the year. Chicago's downtown ice rink normally looks like this. Today, it only has puddles. But the city's golf courses are drawing record crowds.
It's been a wonderful boom in tee times for us here. We're elated that we've more than doubled our rounds from last year at this time.
It is all because the northern jet stream, which gives us cold air, is trapped in Canada. That's especially good for 35 million Americans who suffer from some form of seasonal affective disorder, better known as the winter blues. This year, higher temperatures and sunnier days are helping sufferers fight depression.
It's delaying the development of symptoms, and for those who are already beginning to feel symptoms, they are oftentimes feeling better.
For others, though, warm weather is bad for business. New England ski hills are snowless and ski shops are empty. In New York, heating oil companies have few customers.
It's just a bad situation for everybody.
But forecasters have good news for them and perhaps bad news for the rest of us. The cold should return next week. Jim Williams, ABC News, Chicago.
However, in Russia, they have had the coldest November on record. The average temperature in Moscow last month was about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Further north, well below zero. ABC's Clay Scott has paid a visit to the Kola Peninsula.
They are angry, they are bitter, they are cold, and they are frightened. In a vast area stretching from Lapland on the Norwegian border
across 10 time zones to the Pacific Ocean, millions of people are dangerously unprepared to survive a winter that can last 8 months. And almost everyone blames the government in faraway Moscow. We've been abandoned here, says this man, waiting in line for a sack of flour. We've been left for good. In Soviet days, workers were lured to the far north by higher wages and special subsidies. Now, support from the state has all but disappeared, leaving people to cope with the harsh Arctic winter any way they can. With Russia's current political and economic turmoil, Moscow has neither the money nor the resources to supply the north. The coastal waters have been frozen for weeks, and not even Russia's nuclear-powered icebreakers can get through because the government has stopped sending money for fuel. So many people depend on help from Moscow. Nina Baranova, a widow with 4 children, hasn't seen her welfare money in months. All the family will eat tonight is this jar of porridge donated by a local church. Now there are international relief agencies here, but they've only reached a fraction of the villages. In one village where temperatures of 40 below are common, there is only heating fuel for another week. We're used to shortages of food, this woman says, but we fear cold more than hunger. It took the Soviet Union billions of dollars to make the North livable. Now that the flow of money has all but stopped, these places may not be livable for long. Clay Scott, ABC News on the Kola Peninsula, Russia.
The UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said today that he will travel to Libya amid hopes there may finally be a deal in the works to hand over the suspects in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. The Secretary General will meet with Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi this weekend. Coming up, the high cost of malpractice in the military. It's your money.
I'll see you.
Hi, man.
Me too.
Me too.
Ah, the credit card game. We've all played it.
I'll go 5.9%.
That an intro rate?
Yeah.
First, you get a great introductory rate, but then it goes up.
So you'll raise us to 17.9% in 6 months?
Yeah.
But now, if you have good credit, you can win the credit card game.
Let's make it interesting. I'm out. I'm out. Too rich for my blood.
I'll call.
With the 9.9% fixed rate Visa Platinum card from Capital One.
That's a great hand.
It's not an introductory rate, and with no annual fee, all the perks of Platinum, and a low fixed rate, you may never have to switch cards again. Act now. Call 1-800-CAPITAL and start saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year. Call 1-800-CAPITAL. Apply today for the 9.9% fixed rate Visa Platinum from Capital One. In the credit card game, it's the winning card.
Some things can never be taught in a classroom. You won't find them in any textbook. And with Fixodent's long-lasting hold, you'll be ready, no matter where the lesson takes you. For long-lasting hold, Fixodent, and forget it.
Shopping during the holidays can be really expensive. You buy something for Dad? Something for Sis? Well, when are you going to do something for yourself? Well, during the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event.
Treat yourself to the Chevy car or truck of your dreams. With low 1.9% APR financing or big cash back on a huge selection of Chevrolet vehicles, the perfect Chevy is waiting just for you.
So do something for yourself this year at your Chevy dealer's Make Your Money Count year-end event. It's the season for you.
On the money tonight, a bad day on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost more than 184 points today to close at 88.79. On the NASDAQ, stocks were down more than 40 points. The wave of layoffs continues. Johnson & Johnson is cutting 4,100 jobs. Truck sales are booming. Last month, more people bought sport utility vehicles, minivans, and pickups than cars. Now, your money in the military. More than 8 million soldiers, their families, and retirees get free health care from the U.S. military. But when something goes wrong with the care, military doctors are also provided for. They don't pay for malpractice insurance. They don't need it. When a patient sues, it's your money that foots the bill. Here's ABC's James Walker.
August 1996. Amy Mills' abdominal pain is growing worse.
I told my husband, I said,
You know, I really have a lot of pain still. I said, okay, you need to go to the doctor.
She went to the Evans Army Hospital in Colorado Springs.
OBGYN may help you.
Her specialist at the Well Women's Clinic immediately discovered what he thought was the problem.
Doctors found growths on her uterus, so they decided to perform a hysterectomy. But the 2-hour operation turned into 7 when the surgeons made a horrifying discovery. Amy Mills had ovarian cancer in an advanced stage. It had been spreading for years.
Then, 12 days later, the Mills made the worst discovery of all. New documents appeared in Amy's medical file.
And that page you're looking at right there, it caught my eye right quick.
Results of a cancer test Mrs. Mills had taken 4 years before at another Army hospital in California. Results that showed she had cancer in 1992. Results that were never passed on.
If they'd have caught this back then, her chances of survival would have been a lot higher than they are now. And they've given her 20% for the next 5 years of survival rate.
The Mills sued the Army and won $200,000. It's a small portion of the $75 million that taxpayers shell out every year to settle military malpractice cases. The Pentagon refused to talk to us about its malpractice problem, but it has said the rate of lawsuits in the military is lower than among civilian doctors. Most military malpractice cases involve misdiagnosis or deadly surgical mistakes, and like the Mills, medical reports that got lost.
We've have gotten the care we should have gotten. This would have never happened. And we could today maybe have a child, a 2-3-year-old running around the house maybe.
James Walker, ABC News, Colorado Springs.
And we'll be back in a moment.
Does a car have instincts? Can it anticipate the next curve? One car can make you believe it does. With patented steering and suspension systems, you have the agility to outsmart the most elusive of roads. And right now, you can lease an Intrigue for only $299 a month. For more information, call toll-free 1-877-36-LEASE. Intrigue from Oldsmobile.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver. With age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
Pretend the puppy's a salesperson in an average computer store. Now, ask the salesperson a question.
What's the difference between DVD and CD-ROM? How much RAM do I really need? Oh, and can you guys install software? Okay, thanks.
We built a different place to buy a computer. Gateway Country, staffed with trained people who'll have a computer built just for you, starting as low as $9.99. Gateway Country, get more out of the box. Drop by any store or call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Mom's calling Enterprise Rent-A-Car because our car is sick.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up.
Wow!
Drive you to our place and get you on your way.
Everybody loves to be picked up.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. 1 capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at what you listen to. You don't have to listen closely to know that there are more sources of noise out there than ever before. More people, more cars, more planes, not to mention such things as leaf blowers. Now researchers are beginning to learn that even low levels of noise over long periods of time can pose serious health risks. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
It's enough to make you scream. The planes overhead, the traffic below, The jackhammers, the blaring radios, you get the idea.
Noise is a very stressful thing. It makes people jittery, mean, cruel, and vicious.
After enough of that, you feel like you're losing your mind, right? Well, researchers aren't sure, but increasingly they believe that a noisy world does affect the brain.
Noise is a source of stress, and both because I think it's annoying, but also because it's difficult or impossible to control it.
Gary Evans of Cornell University studied school children near a new airport in Germany. After the airport opened, the kids had higher blood pressure, higher levels of certain stress hormones, and lower reading scores. Why would reading suffer? Evans believes that when school children face a constant barrage of sound, their brains begin to overcompensate.
They tune out not only the noise, but they become indiscriminate and they tune out speech. And the problem there is that speech perception, language acquisition are critical building blocks of learning how to read.
What to do? The airline industry has been forced to use quieter jets. But people who study noise say it makes no difference because by one count, air traffic has gone up 500% since 1960. Roads ought to be quieter too, with highway noise barriers and so forth, but highway traffic has doubled in the last 20 years. Government is not doing much, so it falls to a few activists to sound the alarm.
Noise is not just an annoyance, it's a physiological and mental health hazard.
Researchers say they are not so worried about damage to your ears, it's the rest of the body, worn down over time because we cannot turn down the volume. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
As Ned Potter just mentioned, road traffic is an increasing source of noise, not so much from cars, but from the tires and roads. In Europe, they have found a way to muffle the volume by as much as 70%. ABC's Richard Gisbert reports, starting in London.
This looks like any other busy four-lane road, but it doesn't sound like one.
Quieter, it's much quieter. And I live in that house there. I don't hear half the traffic going by.
For that, he can thank traffic noise experts at this lab in Paris.
Some of that noise is going here. It's absorbed in these tiny rubber granules, which are recycled from old tires. If you mix a little bit of this in with the stuff that most road surfaces are made of, a couple types of gravel, and the binder that glues it all together, what you get is a rubber road.
They've experimented with rubber in roads before, but as recycling projects, not to combat noise pollution. To understand how to make a quiet road, one must first dissect traffic noise. It used to be the engine was the main culprit, but now...
It's not from the car engines, that is from the noise that's between the tires hitting the road surface.
This car is on a rubber road. Listen to the difference when it hits a harder, conventional surface in about 2 seconds. The company that makes rubber roads has taken the extraordinary step of advertising them on French TV. It believes everyone should know that even if they cost 10% more, there are alternatives to the noise that surrounds us. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, Paris.
When we come back, a teacher, a book, and a struggle with a word.
All right. There's one thing everybody in Washington can agree on.
That would be?
There's more heartburn than ever.
And more Republicans.
And more burning and more pressure.
More pain.
Yeah, and it's time someone did more about it, too.
Alka-Seltzer does more, with more medicines than any antacid to speed more relief to your worst heartburn and pain.
Yeah, Alka-Seltzer. This country deserves more.
You sound like a Democrat.
Democrats just promise more. How does this marriage last?
Alka-Seltzer, the more medicine heartburn medicine.
I should have used Preparation H.
If you had, you wouldn't be suffering now. Preparation H helps stop itch and further irritation with a soothing layer of protection.
I should have used Preparation H.
Stops itch, stops irritation.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
So I get this mail from Progressive saying they have a smart new way to shop for auto insurance.
Progressive, can I help you?
They give you their rates plus the rates of several other companies. I wonder whose rates are going to be lowest.
It looks like you could save over $200 if you went with...
What? You're an insurance company?
Hey, we know how hard it is to shop for auto insurance. A lot of times we're the lowest. Sometimes we're not.
That's not what I expected from an insurance company. And then he said, well, maybe you should.
Call 1-800-AUTO-PRO or your authorized independent agent.
ABCNews.com, the first place for news online. Get your news first from ABCNews.com, on the web and America Online.
Finally tonight, a story about good intentions and point of view. Here in New York, a controversy has arisen after a young white teacher read an award-winning book to her third-grade class. But the title of the book is a term that some people find offensive: nappy hair. Here's ABC's Michelle Norris.
The controversy focuses on a children's book about a little girl named Brenda, who has the kinkiest, the nappiest, the fuzziest, the most screwed up, squeezed up, knotted up, tangled up hair you've ever seen. In the book, Brenda is taught to be proud of her unruly mane because it represents the strength and resilience of her people.
I'm trying to tell children how delightful nappy hair is. And it was a book of delight and celebration and praise for the nappy-headed child.
At PS 75 in Brooklyn, a young white teacher read the book to her class of black and Hispanic third graders.
Nappy hair was a tool I used in a lesson on teaching self-esteem and pride.
But some parents at the school reacted with outrage and accused Sherman of being racially insensitive.
They felt that that children were being taught to hate themselves. So it stirred up the whole feeling of self-hate, self-rejection.
Despite the book's positive message, it struck a nerve among some parents who say their children grow up in a society where the prevalent standard of beauty revolves around long, straight, and flowing hair. For some, the problem was not just what was being taught, but who was teaching it.
I think she stumbled onto kind of a race secret, something that black people talk about and use as an epithet, nappy hair.
It has to be because she's white. If she was a black teacher teaching that book, it wouldn't have been no problem.
Sherman said she even received threats, and because of that has decided to change schools, even though her students and the staff have begged her to return.
They want to get me back, and they even said that they would protect me, personally. Why aren't the parents freaking out about what's inside the head? What's under the hair? Hair schmear. What's going on in terms of educating these kids? What are the reading scores in that school?
At PS 75, only 1% of the students read at grade level. Michelle Norris, ABC News, New York.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, the former Agriculture Secretary, Mike Espy. I'm Charles Gibson. For all of us at ABC News, good night.
Tomorrow, can humor help you heal? Laughter as medicine. Proof that it works. A closer look. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
Take a break from the holidays with ABC and Tom Hanks in his unforgettable Oscar-winning role.
My name's Forrest Gump.
Sears Family Theater presents Forrest Gump, tonight 8/7 Central on ABC, where when we say happy holidays, we mean it.
Sunday, the holidays bring out the best in everyone.
Are we a couple?
I could fall in love with you all over again if I let myself.
An all-new practice ABC Sunday.
Now, News 2 at 6. First, fast, accurate.
And somebody I know spent $12,000 on a suite.
Tennessee fans pay the price for their team being number one. Good evening, everyone. You might say that it comes with the territory.
Fans following UT's quest for number one gonna need some green to go along with all that orange. News 2's Chris Bungard reports.
Ball mania is running wild, but we caught up with the woman who captured it in print.
This is the book, you see, Ball Mania, and it is just a huge look at all the different fans.
And fans are learning that following a number one team has its